Sachin. I'm one of the co-founders and Vice President Business Development for Emerging Markets for Drishti. Just for a quick show of hands, how many of you have heard about Drishti? Drishti as an organization. Yeah, because Chris and Krishnan, they represent very, very large organizations. One of them came from wave 1, another one came from wave 2. They are from the wave 3 of customer interaction management. So there are a lot of things that I want to talk about, and I've been told that I'm standing between you and lunch, so I'll not risk it. But I'll still take an opportunity to just introduce the organization because not many people have heard about us. So we are 10 years young. We don't like to call ourselves old. But within these 10 years, we've got about 300 customers in about 40 countries. Today, arguably, the largest number of deployments in terms of total number of setups that are happening in India in small to medium contact centers are done by Drishti. We started this organization as a very humble 4 or 5 people organization. I was one of the co-founders and I come from one of the IITs. And the experience we had was precisely what our friends told, that there were too many components in the contact center which were trying to do the same job, and we realized that if you could bundle it in one box and provide it to the customer, that would save time, money, faster, better, cheaper, stuff like that. Today we are the largest Asian contact center provider. We've been awarded the TMC Net Award 4 times in the last 6 years. We're the only Asian company to have done that. And some of my peers are also recipients of those awards. Today 200 plus strong. In-house R&D, we develop our software ourselves. In India, we support it directly. We have partners who distribute it. And we also provide consulting around our applications to our customers. Drishti has worked with over 1,500 customers, and some of the brands that we have worked with, you would realize they're all around you. If you're booking a cab on Meru, if you're booking a movie on Book My Show, if you're ordering pizza, most of it is happening on our platform today. So very, very strong in the Indian domestic, in the context of Indian things, Indian domestic industry, both direct captives as well as BPOs. But across the world, for example, Solex is the largest BPO in Saudi Arabia with 2,000 seats running solely on our platform today. By the way, all of us have used e-commerce. Today, 8 of the top 10 e-commerce players run on Ameyo. So all their authentications. So if Flipkart is giving you a call within 15 minutes of you putting an order and authenticating the case, this is a cash on delivery order, that's happening on our platform today. Very quickly, our offering, the product that we have is called Ameyo. Ameyo is when it's said in English, but it's actually Ame. Ame means something that doesn't have a boundary, and it was inspired because when we came in the industry, everybody used to bring a lot of boxes. So we said, why does an interaction management process has to be bound around what a box can offer? It has to be much more than that. So as infrastructure, we provide you outbound tools like dialers, IVR, ACD, voice logger, email, chat, SMS, social media, QM, all brought into one platform. Simplify it. We think all these are tools to enable one communication that's happening across channels, what our friends have been telling, and it's very, very simple to do. There's no legacy hardware needed. So 10 years back, if you're investing in the contact center technology, 40%, in fact, sometimes even 70% of what you spend was spent on hardware, whereas today, some of the implementations that we do, the total hardware required is about 10 to 15%, which is awesome because you don't have to operate hardware again and again. Software is very easily upgradable. The biggest advantage that we bring in, and in the second part of my presentation, which talks about platforms, is that we bring in a lot of flexibility on things that your team can do on the same platform. So I'll give you some examples on that. We have pre-integrated connectors with most of the back office applications like Salesforce, Charisma, Oracle, Siebel, Microsoft Dynamics, and more connectors can be built if there's a proprietary application or there is an in-house application. But most of it is service-oriented architecture. So yes, there are proprietary integrators because people want us to do it, but some of these things can be done over weeks if you require to integrate a new application. So I heard the situation is that the customers are coming up and saying, boss, you need to reduce the cost. And you need to share the risk. And you also need to uplift my brand. Right? So on the BPO side, the CIO organization is saying, should I implement cloud? Should I implement in-house? Should I buy? Should I build? There are licenses that are coming on end of life. What is my cost per seat? How much expertise do I need in a specific cloud? This is what we hear day in, day out when we go to our customers, and in your organizations, these are the discussions that are happening. From a sales side, what is our real value addition? Everybody, for example, when I look at vendors today, everybody can put a tick against an IVR, a ACD, a dialer, a CPI, a voice logger, blah, 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 right? So how does one differentiate oneself from, I am not only handling calls, I have so many FTEs, we have a training program, so on and so forth. What is the real differentiator that one brings in? And NASSCOM has been harping about it, talking about it, and one thing is very clear, that if we keep doing the same thing over and over again, that's not going to improve. Right? So I'll try and put some thoughts on what can really be done to create differentiators in BPOs. So this is a picture that I found in Economic Times article when NASSCOM BPO Forum launched the concept of platforms, and it became sort of the jargon. This is the non-linear platform everybody was looking for. You don't need to now charge on transactions, but you can actually scale up your business non-linearly because there is an intellectual property and IP that has been formed around it. It would reduce the cost, it would be reusable. But the biggest problem with this model was that it wanted to standardize. So insurance transaction processes will happen like this. Collections process will happen like this. Right? If some of you have discussed platforms in your organizations, this is what you tend to do. This is what you tend to discuss, that we will become experts in specific vertical. We'll have an application platform which will standardize. The customer can come in, and within weeks he will start doing, we will start delivering his collections or a transaction processing or a claims processing business, right? How many of you are from the CIO organization or the IT organization of BPOs? Okay, so you must have seen some of these things happening. Like, let's standardize. I see, sir, we have been in touch. But the biggest problem with this model is you're trying to standardize, whereas the customer wants you to differentiate. Right? So how does an inherent model which says you will have to standardize, I have a standardized offering, and it will help you differentiate. So I see a fundamental flaw, the way platforms are looked at. Let me give you one example. How many of you are aware of the term called skill-based routing? Right? It's the most standard way. 10 years back it was the most advanced way. Today is the most standard way one can route calls inbound. Okay. So most of the ACDs use algorithms like least recently used, FIFO, LIFO. So those are the standard algorithms that you use to route calls. I'll give you another algorithm on the fly. So let's say that Chris, my friend, calls Vodafone in the morning 10 o'clock. Right? Now, Vodafone answers the typical experience. So I'll not say Vodafone because they might take offense, but it's across the board. So I call my telco. The call goes into, welcome to Vodafone. How can I help you? Press 1 if you are feeling good today, and press 2 if you are really pissed today, and press 3 if you are more pissed, and so on and so forth. And I keep pressing some buttons. At the end of the day, somebody gives me an option. Press 9 if you want to speak to somebody. Okay? So I press 9, and then very politely the voice keeps telling me my call is extremely important. 15 minutes, I hear that message, and finally I get to talk to somebody, and the guy says, welcome to Vodafone, how can I help you, sir? Man, I've been charged for a vast service that I did not subscribe to. Okay, sir, let me just check. I'll put your call on hold. He somehow has the data. He checks and says, yes, sir, I can see that. We will rectify it by 3 o'clock this afternoon. So Chris is happy. 3:30 in the afternoon, he still not has received any notification. So he again calls up the Vodafone call center, goes to the whole process again, press 1, press 2, press 3, press 9. And this time, somebody else answers the call and very politely says, welcome to Vodafone, how can I help you? Now, in my experience, with so many tools and technologies and platforms, o'clock, can I route the same call to the same guy with the same data in front of him at 3:30? Right? And this time the call doesn't get answered like, welcome to Vodafone, press 1, press 2. If the customer has a prior interaction in my system and there is an open case that is pending in his name, he will not go through the IVR, I will route him to the same agent right away. Right? And the experience is, sorry Chris, I am still not able to solve your problem rather than welcome. So I'm talking about a very important topic, standardization versus differentiation. Most of the tools and technologies around you, and most of the vendors here at Hotel Law are trying to put you around standardization, whereas the only way you will succeed is if you think of real differentiators to business and then think about technology and not vice versa. So it allows you fast experiments, it allows you flexibility, and we come back to the cliched word, it allows you to innovate. Now, I hear a lot of talk about innovation, and Raman Roy, who is a guru, has talked a lot about innovation in some of these BPO forums. But how does one allow, or how does one foster innovation within your organizations, and how does technology play a role in that? So there is a book called 8 Steps to Innovation, Going Jugaad to Excellence, a very Indian context of how we can innovate, because the word Jugaad is there. Jugaad is not innovation, if people think, but from going Jugaad to innovating excellence. It says that you create an idea pipeline. For example, the idea that we talked about today, same agent routing, let's label it a name, same agent routing. Similar ideas could be generated on coffee tables like this. We are all brilliant people, Indians are very analytical, so we can generate n number of ideas on what we can do better in a specific process or a specific area in our organization. Okay? And once we have those ideas in place, then the platform has to allow me to quickly experiment around those ideas and come up with whether this will work or not work. Right? It's not research. Most of these ideas, the idea that I gave you, I think it's a revolutionary idea. Why don't telcos do it? I don't know. It will not increase their cost for sure. But there are revolutionary ideas which are possible, which can be discussed. The only challenge that organizations face today is, let's say I gave you this idea, you go to your CIO or the IT guy and say, can we implement this? Yeah, it will take us about a month to, deplug the IVR, connect the IVR to the CTI connection where the tickets are stored. You want to track what are the repeat customers, but customer data is actually lying in a CRM system, which is actually at the client side, so we don't have access to it, and hence the idea proves. Hence, the major trait of a platform is that it should be not an idea killer, but it should enable, or it should be a catalyst to the idea. So if you or your colleagues are thinking of a new idea, the platform should allow you to build around that idea or experiment around that idea very quickly, without too much fuss about it, without too many approvals about it, without too much risk about it, without me thinking I will get sacked if this fails, which is a problem with the organizations today. So a lot of us have seen this puzzle, right? It's called a tangram from China, where there are 7-8 pieces and they can be molded into a lot of shapes. So this is my definition of a platform. It's a set of tools, it's a set of applications which allow you to, you can amalgamate them in different ways and give out different solutions very quickly. So that's what I think a platform is, not standardizing, but a tool to differentiate, a tool to foster innovation, a tool that will act as a catalyst to the ideas. So I'll just talk about two quick cases where we have implemented this as a platform. With emphasis within 1 year, we are doing now about our third implementation. Third customer, Vilas, I think is here somewhere, so he's a good friend. And we have been able to reduce 30% of the cost over the benchmark that existed in the market. So, if you're implementing new processes, it's a shared services infrastructure. You can reuse the same components and deliver now a Pizza Hut or a pizza delivery process and a finance delivery process and an not standardizing. What Motilal Oswal is doing, I'll just give you one example of differentiation. So usually each customer, each agent can handle one call at any point of time, right? So you can be speaking to one guy most of the time. Motilal Oswal is a stockbroker. So stockbrokers can actually do this, which you have seen. Khareed lo, bech lo. You have seen how stockbrokers work. So Motilal Oswal had the challenge that there is one line which will act as a normal ACD line, and there's another line where if Shah Rukh Khan calls, this phone should ring. Which means if a VIP calls, this phone should ring, and I should be able to take that call immediately. And while these two phones are engaged, if another guy calls in, because I'm an account manager, I should immediately get a pop-up notification that there is a missed call, and I can hang up my normal average call and talk to that guy. These are not standard requirements. There is no ACD in the world who gives you off the shelf, and it shouldn't, because ACDs are meant to do routing across agents in a standardized fashion. This was a differentiated requirement, since we could deliver it in 2 weeks for our customer. So hence, the summary of the platform story, don't look at platform as a standardization. You might want to do for vertical, understood. I want to be an expert in insurance, understood. But don't say that I know how your business wants to do insurance claims to your customer, and I can do it faster and cheaper than the other guy. You can still say I can do it faster and cheaper than the other guy, but you have to tell me how I will run it, and I will create it for you. So that's the platform thing for us. Finally, I'll just play a small video of what Motilal Oswal experienced. It's a 2-minute video where they talk about what happened to their business once they used such platform. And me and my guys are here in case anybody needs a discussion about Drishti or platforms in general. I'll be very happy to do it. I'm also available on LinkedIn, and my name is Sachin Bhatia.